absolute basic tools. You need a bench pin or a bench peg, can be just a piece of wood, and a clamp to hold it on your table, clamp it on your table. You can go the expensive route and get the GRS bench peg that just slides off, a dovetail setup. It's brilliant, but it's not basic. So basic bench peg, saw. I prefer the ones that are made in Germany. And the shorter the throat, the more accurate it is when you're sawing. They're relatively inexpensive, and you can get ones with a deeper throat. I have deeper ones, but normally I just use this. A sanding stick, 400 grade sandpaper, a ring clamp for holding things, saving your fingers. These are leather lined. They're like $11 each. Cheap as chips. A chasing hammer. This is frets. It doesn't have to be frets, but this is made for hitting steel tools, so the face will get all banged up. That's the way it's supposed to be. And it gives you a nice, smooth, shiny piece on the back for doing a hammered finish. A jeweler's hammer. This is the one that I use the most. It's French. It's got a slightly curved head, cross pane back, polished front. Rawhide hammer. Can be plastic. It can be very flash, but really a basic rawhide hammer. It's just so you can hammer things without marking the metal. A number 2 cut flat hand file. It's Swiss number 2 cut. A number 2 cut half round ring file. And a number 2 cut barrette file. I have jeweler's files. I normally don't use them. This is what I use the most, these 3 files. A good vernier caliper. Just make sure it's accurate to 0.01 of a millimeter. And if you haven't learned metric yet, most of these have a little switch that lets you go from millimeters to inches. It gives you thousandths of an inch. It doesn't give you gauge, but it's good that you can switch back and forth. A a pendant drill, which is just a drill on a flex shaft. I like Fordham. I have a Fordham micromotor, but the truth is I normally use the regular Fordham pendant drill. A little calculator for doing your calculations. A small set of scales. This just goes to 200 grams. You don't normally need more than that. A bracelet mandrel, a ring mandrel. And this is just so you can form metal. It doesn't necessarily have to be for bracelets or rings, but it's something that you can hammer your metal around using your rawhide hammer. A torch. It can be as simple as a LPG torch, LPG and air, or it can be a mini torch which has oxygen and LPG, or oxygen and acetylene. I prefer LPG, it's a little cleaner, not quite as hot. Pliers, 2 pairs of parallel jaw pliers. Flat round, flat half round, side cutters, and your hallmark stamps. I have pliers because I do a lot of sterling, and I just put it in there and squeeze. It's not necessary. You can just get the regular old Hallmark stamps and hit it with your hammer. A scribe for marking your metal. A small machinist square, or a tri-square, is what most jewelers call this. A burnisher can be straight or curved. It's just polished steel for smoothing your metal. Usually it's used for bezels. A chenier cutter or a chenier holder. It doesn't have to be as fancy as this one, but it's nice in the fact that you're able to hold your metal and saw. A good set of straight shears. Make sure that this isn't serrated. Make sure it's just smooth so that when you cut your metal you'll have a nice smooth cut. A steel straight edge for laying out your metal, and they make them that have the old money on the back and metric on the front so that it's easy to convert. And it's just 1 for 1. Whatever it is on this side is what it is on the other side in the different measure.